Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to revisit the free-to-play event release and character shards for the last couple months since they made that big change, right? If you recall, ever since I believe it was middle of August when they made the announcement for the changes for character shards, it caused a huge uproar in the community, and I kind of wanted to revisit this conversation because now we got a couple months of data. We got a couple months to assess, how our character shards have been, and walk you through what exactly I've used my power cores for in terms of character shards, and as well, assess ultimately whether or not these the slow drip method, which is orbs like this, right? The Man-Thing Night Stalker orbs versus the regular 675 cores. Are they actually as bad as they seem, right? Even these ones right here, we're trying to ultimately get Oath right now. I think you'll see in the analysis later, but she's one of the only few that I haven't unlocked. We have Blade Night Stalker as well, getting at it, and more recently the Zombie Hunter, and then the Undying Orbs, obviously, for more Scarlet Witch. But yeah, guys, I want to talk real quickly about this because I know this was a big concern a couple months back, and now that we have a couple months here, we can actually take a look at how our character shards are doing. And what I've done is, I'm a big fan of this new roster selection. So I've grabbed the Annihilator, I've grabbed the Illuminati, Orcus, and Night Stalker teams. These four teams are the most recent ones outside of the newest being Astro. But more on that in a bit here, as well as obviously Zombie Scarlet Witch is not included in this mix, but I do want to talk about her as well. So over the summertime, they announced that there's going to be a new legendary character. Both Illuminati and Annihilators are required. And then they also top that up by saying that, by the way, the release method for character shards going forward is going to be different. Typically, if there is a series of 3 characters, one will be made more available, and then the other 2 through the slow drip method. So even if you look at the majority of these characters, so this is in no particular order, it just filtered all these characters and teams, right? Obviously the older characters like Scientist Supreme, Mr. Fantastic, Ultimus, most of us likely will have shards already built for them. And if you don't, the intention of the slow drip method was that they'll be giving us more of these shards of these historical characters, which they've done, right? Moon Knight, if you look at characters like, I think there's even been some Iron Man, Black Bolt, yeah, and definitely a ton of Silver Surfer. But guys, out of this entire mix of characters, right? Man-Thing, he's an interesting one. There's shards right now of him in the monthly event, so technically I would count that as the free-to-play event, just because they've added some shards to actually push for him. Oath is likely going to be very, very soon. We haven't heard of any events, we haven't seen it in the day mines, but if I had to suspect, her event is probably next week. Just seeing how the order of things, the cadence of things that we've seen, because everything else has been really good. Obviously the big ones have been Gladiator, Thanos Endgame. These characters I actually use my power cores for, these 3, because I want to focus on arena meta. I'm glad I have, because now they've officially even added them actually in the Battle World store, and as well now bump. So there's definitely been some opportunities in the last couple months, right? And Orcus, this one has been a welcome surprise, because we have Sentinel, we have Nimrod, and then we have Omega. These 3 characters now, most of us should have them unlocked through the slow drip. So in 2 months time, this one's interesting, because these 3 characters I didn't use a single power core offer for. So I didn't use any of those orbs, I didn't open any additional, it was just all luck. And you can see here, right, we're at a pretty healthy 4 stars for the 3 newest characters here in the Orcus team. And that was just, again, I think this team's been out for a couple months now as well. I think actually for the majority of September and October. So it's working in that respect. I cored previously for Hank Pym as well as Black Panther Shuri. You can see they're both very close to 7 stars now, because of the fact that obviously they're farmable now too. So it's been massive, guys. It's been pretty big. Out of this 4 team mix here, it's really Man-Thing, Oath, who we're expecting next week, and Captain Britain, who's labeled as an epic character, but even him, you can find shards of him in the candy store with those very minimal RNG odds, right? But yeah, guys, 4 teams in the past two months ish, and only 3 characters, with one of them obviously being the exception for the epic, has been fully not unlocked. So I mean, honestly, like this is not a terrible statistic. So I know in the past when they previously talked about how this is going to be a statistically better way, I mean, so far, at least if you're just patient and being free to play like myself, using power cores when you want to focus in on certain metas, I do think in a way it's kind of working. It is actually still, at the end of the day, getting us character shards that we are interested in, and especially in the meta. More recently, though, I know they did a really good job with this one. Her initial event, the Halloween stuff last week, wasn't great. But then they released a free-to-play event this week, so maybe it was the backlash, maybe it was the reception from the community, but this was big. Her free-to-play event is on right now, and most folks should be able to get her unlocked. And they also gifted, like, I think 15 shards through the store, so that was actually a really, really welcome surprise. And I was pretty happy about that, because I think this was more of a community feedback kind of win, as opposed to, you know, requiring her and building her up and so forth. As for the newest team, guys, this is the one I did want to quickly touch on. As for the newest team being Astro, because with them being the first Battle World team, I am gonna use my power course for them. And thankfully, there's only 2 characters that are new, right? Ancient One, which I've done the video on this week, and then obviously Emma Frost X-Men, who we're also expecting next week. So that's it. That's in the meantime, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But overall, you know, it hasn't been as bad as everyone thinks. I believe. Obviously, it's terrible when you're going through some of these orbs. It's a feels bad moment when you're only getting, you know, 1 shard every 10 orbs, maybe. Who knows? But I think they've done a decent enough job that they've been including some of these characters through the events and enough of these slow drip that, and also things like, I wonder if this is a good example. If you open enough of these Man-Thing orbs, then you'll also get an actual power core orb, which gives you a minimum of 6 shards. So I think that has actually been more of like the mercy, giving us a little bit of guaranteed shards over time, if you even if you haven't got the good luck, right? So that in a nutshell, guys, is the update here. Am I complaining? Honestly, I think so, as long as it's working, so as long as we're building towards something each month and we're being patient, I don't think there's anything wrong right now. So far, like I said, 4 teams in the last 2.5 months-ish, and only about 2 or 3 characters have not been unlocked for myself. I can't complain, especially being free to play, guys, and I'm being patient. That's one of my biggest strengths, being that kind of player in this game. So let me know what you think in the comments below, if you agree or disagree, but I'm always eager to hear back. And honestly, we'll see what happens in the coming months, if they improve or make this worse. But overall, at least we're unlocking the characters that we need to participate in the game modes that matter. Thank you, Turf. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.